On behalf of President John Rudley and Texas Southern University, we would like to make you an honorary member of the most exciting band on the planet, the Texas Southern University Ocean of Soul Marching Band.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you. That was a truly nice surprise. I appreciate that very much. I love this city. I love this city, and I appreciate the opportunity to be with you today. Thank you to the Ocean of Soul Band. Everybody knows that Rice University is in my heart. My parents met at the University of Houston, so it's clearly important to me. But TSU's in my soul. So. I do love this city, and not a day goes by that I am not proud to represent each and every one of you. And not a day goes by that I am not excited about the opportunities in Houston and the positive changes we're making for Houston's future. I couldn't make those changes, however. We couldn't make the progress that we need to make without a strong team in city government. And the leaders of that team are the members of the Houston City Council. And I would ask them to stand again so that I and you can acknowledge them again. Controller Green, members of the Houston City Council, I appreciate you being here. I really appreciate you being my partner in the effort to transform this great city. This is the third time I've stood before you to talk about the state of Houston's health. In those two previous appearances, I spoke a lot about challenges. I talked about sacrifices, hard choices, tough decisions. I even quoted Calvin Coolidge. No one really quotes Calvin Coolidge, but I quoted Calvin Coolidge on how important it is to live within one's means. I tried to deliver bad news in the best way possible. While the revenues on which the city relies are still recovering, I'm here today to tell you that we have rounded the corner on the tough times, and we are on the move upward. And you can see it outside here today. You can see it in the new starts. You can see it in the growth in the city. You can see it in the unemployment rolls. You can see it everywhere in this city. Yeah, I think it's important. We are the job-producing capital of the United States. We are one of only two North American cities ranked among the 40 fastest-growing metropolitan economies in the world, and we are the #1 U.S. city on that list. We're the #1 U.S. city for manufacturing. Indeed, the state of our city is the strongest it has been for some years, and our strength continues to grow. Every day, we are closer to the Houston that should be. This year, instead of talking about budgets, I think we're all a little tired of talking about budgets, I want to talk to you about faith. Whether you find your strength in God, in family, in friends, or in your own two hands, Houston deserves no less than our vision, our commitment, and a leap of faith. We are working every day in city government to earn your confidence. Your job, all of you, is to have faith in Houston. The essence of Houston has always included an immense faith in the power of human ingenuity and effort to change the natural world. It has always included the ability to confound conventional wisdom, coupled with the unshakable belief that there is a better, brighter future before us, and that we can and will rise to meet it on every effort, on every occasion, if we only join together. We know this. We've seen this time and again in our history. Beto, you were channeling my speech. Darn it. We have seen this. From envisioning the seemingly impossible to creating the surely improbable or performing the supremely practical. What other city could put a man on the moon, build the Houston Ship Channel, craft the first dome stadium, or decide to build vast reservoirs of water for a city yet to be? Only in Houston. I get frustrated when I start a speech and I say Houston, and someone in the audience says, "We have a problem." Because I know, and you know, where that quote came from. It was, "Houston, we have a problem, help us." You remember that. It was, "Houston, we need you." The problem wasn't in Houston. The solution was in Houston. Every day, there are new Houstonians who arrive in this great city, already the most diverse city in the United States, with that faith in themselves and the faith in the opportunity that they know they'll find here in Houston. We need to remember, we need to rekindle, we need to catch fire again with what it means to be a Houstonian, with what opportunities we have here. There will always be challenges. Now, when I ran to be your mayor, I thought about all of the challenges that I might face. And in fact, I obsessed about some of them, about the budget, about hurricanes and floods and fires and all kinds of natural disasters. Drought? Really? Really? Was that on your list? Wasn't on my list. I'll confess, it wasn't on my list. But I took this job to ensure that as a city, we remain strong and resilient, no matter what the challenge. And so we had a drought. You don't plant a tree for today or for tomorrow. You plant a tree for 10 years from now, or a generation from now, or even a century from now. You plant it with faith that the rains will come to water it. You plant it with faith that the sun will shine upon it. And you plant it with faith that someone else will rest in its shade. Much like the thousands of seedlings we are now planting throughout this city to replace trees lost to the drought, The many changes we're making are the seeds we are planting with faith in Houston's bright future. As we sow these seeds within the city, we're focused on 5 priorities. And I want you to share in those goals. Jobs and sustainable development, infrastructure, public safety, fiscal responsibility, and quality of life. In each of these areas, there are things we have done, and there are things we will do. Woven throughout our work in all 5 of these priorities is a new attitude of customer service and professionalism on the part of the city. Our municipal workforce is among the best and the hardest working in the United States. You think of them when there's a problem. I want you to understand that for every day this city functions smoothly and there are no problems, you can thank them for the work they do. Their job is to prevent problems from happening. They are as committed as I to a job well done. And I'm now going to ask all of the city staff who are here today to please rise. Come on. I know there are many. Men and women here today represent more than 20,000 city employees who serve you every day, who fill the potholes, who pick up the trash, who fight the fires, who catch the bad guys, who make our city run. Now, to those 5 priorities again. Jobs and sustainable development. During my first term in office, the City of Houston incentivized more than $1 billion in new economic development with more than 13,000 new or saved jobs. That is $1 billion in economic activity that likely would not have occurred had it not been for the city's direct involvement. This represents real dollars for real jobs that are helping Houston's families today. I promised that creating more jobs was my #1 job. Just 3 months into the second term, we're still delivering on that promise, with 200 jobs tied to Direct Energy's decision to move its corporate headquarters to Houston, and another 125 jobs from Comcast Sportsnet Houston moving into the downtown pavilion. Yesterday, the CEO of Direct Energy was at City Hall and was asked by the media why he came. He was offered no incentives. He was offered no inducements. He came because he understands that Houston is where the business is, Houston is open for business, and Houston is where his employees can have the most impact. That's the work that you do, and I thank you for that. Overall, the Houston area has gained more than 100,000 jobs. In the last year, we gained back every job we lost during the recession. No other city in America can claim more. And that's why for the second year in a row, we are the #1 destination for relocations. We are a magnet to the world. Need more ideas? Last year, we implemented Hire Houston First. 250 firms have already been certified to participate in this program. Under the rules of this program, Reliant Energy was selected to be the city's retail electric provider for at least the next 3 years. Picking the local firm keeps dollars and jobs here in Houston where they belong. And I urge other local governments and businesses in Houston to look to Houston first. Let's build our economy here in Houston with Houstonians. A lot of things happening in infrastructure, and you can see it. I mentioned the things that are going on in the private sector, but let's talk about the public sector. We are transforming the way we do long-term planning for infrastructure improvements, planning for 10 years down the road instead of just 5 years. For the first time, we have a comprehensive analysis of the condition of every mile of city streets and a watershed-level drainage assessment for the entire city. We have a plan to address both in a systematic, worst comes first, pay-as-you-go manner. The work has already started. This year, the city will start almost 30 new projects for street and drainage improvements with a value of approximately $250 million. They include a major storm, sewer, and road project on Aldine Westfield, and drainage improvements in the Braze Village area, and many, many more. This is possible because of Rebuild Houston. Voter approval of Rebuild Houston was a visionary step that will reap benefits for our neighborhoods for decades to come. It was the right thing, the prudent thing, a faith in our future thing, and I defy you to name another American city that would have made this bold step, cast this vote in the midst of a recession. That's why I love leading this city. We stand up and do the right thing. Public safety. We're meeting today's public safety needs while continuing to solve the problems of the past. Our 2011 murder rate was the lowest per capita rate in the city's history. Reform of the city's long-troubled crime lab is currently underway. And we're working to get out of the jail business. In fact, I was just talking to the sheriff about that a few minutes ago. Our plan to create an independent forensic science center is being hailed as innovative and an example other cities should follow. My goal is true independence. A crime lab independent of the police, of prosecutors, and of political influence. We need a system that is arm's length from the police officers who make the arrests and from those who are responsible for prosecuting the accused. We have to bring credibility back to a system that has failed both the victim and the accused. There's too much at stake for this not to happen. Despite ideas to the contrary, there is no one entity that can do all of this today. But I am committed to a regional solution, and the city has steps in place to move us forward toward that goal. We have taken concrete steps to get out of the jail business with the creation of a sobering center. A sobering center will divert public intoxication cases from the city jail system and from a criminal record, free up jail space for more serious offenders, and streamline and reduce processing time. Not only will there be cost savings in the future, but police officers will be able to return to patrol faster and help increase public safety in our neighborhoods. Sobering Center is one of those ideas that doesn't just make sense. It will save dollars, and it will save lives, and it's the right thing to do. And I'm excited about the progress we've made, and you will see that before the end of this year. The issue of fiscal responsibility dominated my first 2 years as mayor, and as I said earlier, my first 2 State of the City speeches. I told you that I would lead us through this recession with the tools I had, and I have. We have made this progress not by raising taxes, not by mortgaging the city's future with debt, but by firm fiscal stewardship. Unlike last year, the budget I will send to City Council next month will not include cuts in swimming pools, not include cuts in library hours or health care services. It will not include furloughs or layoffs of employees. It's not a flush budget. I would call it an austere budget. But it is a budget that will get things done for the city of Houston. Is that the only thing we need to do financially? No. Clearly, achieving long-term fiscal stability requires talking about pension security. This is not about doing away with pensions for city workers or pitting defined benefits against defined contributions. It's not about scare tactics or insults. I want fair, financially secure, and affordable pensions for city employees and the taxpayers who pay the bills. This dialogue requires assistance from our pensions, from our employee unions, from City Council, from the local business community, and from the state legislature, which currently, ultimately, controls how our pension systems are funded and governed. This is not an attack on city employees who earn every dime they are paid. And it is not an attack on retirees, many of whom struggle to survive on their city pensions. It is, at one level, about math, simple math, but it is ultimately about a secure future for our city and our workers in a sustainable system. And I will continue to raise the issue, and we will continue to have that conversation. And then finally, quality of life. Quality of life is the umbrella over the other 4 priorities. Quality of life and working on the quality of life in the city of Houston is what excites me about this city, because there's an area that not only have we made tremendous progress, but the sky's the limit. More jobs, improved infrastructure, less street flooding, reduced crime, a brighter financial outlook mean better quality of life in our neighborhoods and a brighter future for us all. We have a vibrant arts community. We are expanding bike trails and better utilizing green space across the city of Houston. We're working to address food deserts in areas long neglected for economic development. We're making improvements in Emancipation Park and along Buffalo Bayou, and working to restore historic properties. This fall, we're going to have a bond election, and I will ask you to support, among other things, our Bayou Greenway initiative, Bayou, depending on where you're from, our Bayou Greenway connectivity initiatives, where we take that beautiful green web we have across the city and connect our hike and bike trails with our neighborhood parks in a continuous network. You can help build that for future generations of Houstonians. We're also enhancing transit options through Metro, and I want to salute the new Metro for getting back on track, full federal funding. and a new attitude of cooperation. And he wasn't mentioned earlier, but I know that the chairman of the Metro Board, Gilbert Garcia, is somewhere in the room, and I thank you for the many hours that you put in. An example, he has put a tremendous number of hours in. An example of the changes at Metro. When it came to deciding the path for the Metro East End Light Rail Line, the city and Metro listened to the community, and at the Harrisburg grade separation, selected the all-under option to promote pedestrian vehicle safety in the area, encourage community development, and enhance overall mobility in the East End. Why is that significant? It wasn't the cheapest option. It was the best option. And we came together and figured out how to do it. That's what I expect from all of the government entities here, coming together and figuring out the best option, the best solution, and thanks to Metro for getting it done. These kind of projects and amenities are what make Houston a magnet for new residents, a destination for visitors from all over the world, and the best place in America to live, to work, and to raise a family. As you leave here today, have faith in Houston. Have faith in Houston as a city that works for today, invests in the future, welcomes change, thrives on challenges, and embraces the whole world. Thank you.